Podcast. Wellness, healthcare, advocacy, and transparency. Say what? Filling in for Dr. Sheffield, I am Sara Leo, a second-year pharmacy major from Miami, Florida. If you guys haven't heard, our pharmacy grads of 2025 had an impressive leap in licensure exam success with an 89.8 first-time pass rate on NAPLEX. Say what? This leads us to our special guests, Dr. Spates and Dr. Jackson. Before we get started, I'd love for both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you're passionate about.
Okay, great. I'll start. I'm Dr. Jocelyn Spates. I currently serve as the Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs here in the College of Pharmacy, and I manage all of the pharmacy practice faculty as well as our practice divisions throughout the state of Florida. So I'm passionate about seeing students succeed and engage in their career aspirations. That's my passion.
Hello, I'm Lekeisha Jackson. I am the Director of Assessment for the College of Pharmacy, Institute of Public Health, and I serve as the Director of Assessment. I am responsible for creating an assessment framework for the college, and I'm passionate about making sure that we have data to make data-informed decisions across our institution as well as college.
Thank you both for sharing, and I'm actually really excited for this conversation because since I am a pharmacy major, this topic is very personal for me. So this takes me to our first question. This question is directed towards Dr. Spates, but of course, Dr. Jackson, if you want to jump in, you can. And the same goes for you, Dr. Spates, for Dr. Jackson's questions. So, Dr. Spates, what is the NAPLEX and why is it so important for pharmacy graduates?
So the NAPLEX is the North American Pharmacist Licensure Exam, and it is a national exam. And what this exam does is it ensures that our learners are prepared to enter entry-level pharmacy practice safely and effectively, and that they have the baseline knowledge to carry out the functions of an entry-level pharmacist. It is critically important that they pass the NAPLEX so that they can become licensed in the state where they reside, the state where they plan to pursue their job opportunity, residency opportunity, or whatever career path they end up pursuing. It's important that they have the NAPLEX passed on the first time for licensure.
Okay, so that leads to my next question. So why is the first time pass rate so important?
So the first time pass rate really reflects how well we as a college have prepared them in terms of our curriculum, making sure that our curriculum meets all of the accreditation standards. In doing so, it ensures that we have done that. And if they pass the first time with a high percentage rate, then that ensures that our curriculum is effective. Right. Additionally, passing the first time, many of them have job opportunities, and there many times is a window of opportunity for them to pass the NAPLEX and the MPJE. Most organizations have about a 90-day window. So passing it on that first time will ensure that they can transition into the job or the residency or the fellowship that they have procured.
Right. Okay. So Dr. Spates said something important, that the first time pass rate is important because it shows that the curriculum is actually effective. So Dr. Jackson, this actually leads to the question I have for you. So Dr. Jackson, from an assessment perspective, how do you track and evaluate student readiness for the NAPLEX throughout the program?
Student readiness, very good question. We take a longitudinal approach to track student readiness across the program. Mm-hmm. We look at various snapshots, if it's at the course level across each particular course each semester, as well as a snapshot throughout the whole program. It could be at the end of one particular cohort, the next year, and so forth. So it's really a snapshot looking at their readiness across the entire program, course level to programmatic level.
Okay. So my next question for you, Dr. Jackson, is how does the college balance maintaining high academic standards while ensuring students feel supported during NAPLEX preparation? Because when I heard about the announcement of the 89.8% first-time pass rate, I kind of felt like I was in a state of pressure because it's like, okay, now we have to do better. We have to do better. And I feel like the pressure, of course, is on the staff, but it's really on the students because it's now us that's taking the exams. So
really the same approach. It's longitudinal. You really need to make sure, we need to make sure that we're having our level of excellence, of course, because we are at Florida A&M University.
Right.
We have a level of excellence. Within our own college, there's another layer of excellence
Yeah.
as well. So with that, we make sure that there's, I think it's at the basis of communication and support, really building a unit of support around the learners through various aspects, starting at the course level all the way to the preparation stage. There are other platforms, assessment platforms we utilize, such as Influx and ExamSoft, which helps us to look at the data that's captured and then create those particular strategies to support. So again, to help them feel supported, there's various mechanisms through Influx. It could be advisor trainings or advisor information that's used. It could be at the instructional level, the snapshot of particular plans for the student for a particular class, really pinpoint it down to a specific competency or an area. So we look at that data across the student's success or matriculation across the program. We can see their specific areas where they may need additional support. And when that support or that plan is created, I believe the RISE program does an exceptional job of that, being able to create that family unit, that personalized touch to provide the support while keeping the level of excellence there. So various things, we utilize support services, we utilize learning management systems like Influx, but also again, speaking very highly of the RISE program, they utilize all that data to make sure the excellence is there as well as the support is there.
And I also wanted to add our Office of Student Affairs plays a pivotal role in making sure that our students have the support that they need. It is a very stressful program, and having advisors who they can go to and can share their concerns, can share their ups and their downs. We're also rolling out a mentorship program where they'll also have faculty members who they can also go to and talk to if they're having issues or having difficult moments where they're feeling a lot of stress. And so we're rolling those things out in hopes that the learners can feel supported. Because it is a rigorous program. There's no doubt about it. And we want to make sure that we have the structured support there to make sure that our learners can succeed.
Right. And I like that you brought up the mentorship program because I have an advisor. My advisor is great, but my advisor isn't a pharmacy major. He didn't take the pharmacy classes. So having someone that experienced already what I'm going through, it's better.
Yes.
So I have 2 more questions for the both of you. The first one, what changes were made since 2024 that contributed to this year's success? Because I know that last year, the first time pass rate was 69.3%.
Yes, so we, I will say, rolled out the orange and green carpet. We really put a lot of effort into after 2024, because we had a pass rate of 69% in 2024, and we knew that ACPE looks at our first-time pass rates, our Board of Trustees, our Board of Governors, they all look at our first-time pass rate, and when you looked at our pass rate compared to our SUS peers, we were far below. So we knew that we had to implement some strategies to get us back to where we were in 2021 and 2022, where we were above the state and the national average. So we implemented what's called the RISE program, and it's resources to increase success on examinations. And through this initiative, it was a more comprehensive faculty-led licensure readiness framework. And the framework had structured readiness questions that we would ask our graduates to evaluate their readiness. We also implemented individualized remediation plans, mandatory comprehensive exams. Again, our learners do not particularly care for the comprehensive exams, but it gives us a way to measure their readiness to pass the NAPLEX on the first attempt. And in our comprehensive exams, we did use retired NADP questions, which really did help prepare them and expose them to the types of questions that they would have on the real examination. We also had documented faculty coaching that was documented in influx that Dr. Jackson spoke about. And this also helped us keep track of what the learners were doing, how well they were engaging with the RX prep tool that we use that helps them prepare for the board exam. As well as we had some calculation intensive. So Dr. Bridget Israel, who's phenomenal at calculation, she did a couple of intensive calculations, tutoring sessions with them, as well as instructional sessions with them. And really, this RISE program helped us stay connected to our graduates. And that was a component that was missing. Once our graduates finished, they graduated, walked across that stage, they did their oath and hooding, they left, and we really didn't have a lot of contact with them. But with the program, the way it's designed now, we reach out to them. They have our personal cell numbers, many of them, and they're able to contact us, and we're able to contact them to keep those lines of communication open, and also to help us really assess whether they were ready to sit for the exam or not. And we do feel like a lot of those things that we implemented really drove our success rate at 89.8% first time pass rate.
And I would also like to give kudos to the leadership too, because I think from their foresight of saying there needs to be someone specifically catered towards assessment as well. Because at every point of this RISE program, assessment is right there at the hip to make sure that they're there to support, or we're there to support any of the needs that they have. If it's creating a survey, if it's running analytics about the scores, to provide them insight or interpretation that will help them to make changes as they see fit. So it's very important. I definitely want to give kudos to leadership for identifying that assessment was an important piece for the college so that it can be linked into every aspect of the college, which includes the licensing exams.
Okay. So I can't speak for any other major or any other school here at FAMU, but I can speak for the School of Pharmacy, and I can definitely say that all the advisors, all the professors and tutors they come together and they try their best and devote all their time to help the students succeed. So this leads to my next question. What advice would you give other pharmacy programs that are preparing or trying to improve their NAPLEX pass rates through assessment and data-driven strategies?
So I'll start by saying we recently attended the AACP meeting, and it's Association of Academies of Colleges of Pharmacy. We went to that meeting in February, and at that point our exam scores, first time pass rate, had been released. So I had quite a few people who were at that meeting, who are all academicians or associate deans or deans, approach me to find out, what did you do? What did you do, and how were you all so successful this year as opposed to 2024? And I would say they have to start early. So it cannot be a last semester issue. You cannot start driving change at the last semester of their matriculation in the program. It has to be a longitudinal approach, and that's just what we're doing. So we're looking at our curriculum, just looking at our assessment, and making sure that all things align to a successful pass rate on the licensure exam. And so just starting early, making sure that they are engaging with the graduates once they graduate, because I do really feel that that is a missing link. Because once they leave, they don't have a lot of accountability. Those accountability pieces are critical when you are preparing for an exam, making sure that they are studying 30 to 40 hours a week, making sure they have all of the resources that they need to be successful. All of those are part of that questionnaire that we implemented to just ensure that overall they were ready, they were prepared, and that they could pass on the first attempt.
Very good points. I would also offer the advice that assessment is key. When you say assessment, we know that, of course, the licensing exam is based upon assessment. But when you think of assessment, I would suggest that they look at assessment as at the programmatic level. including the faculty and the learners, really doing intentional planning, and taking or having those hard conversations about what's working well and what's not working well.
Right.
So when you think of assessment at the course level, at the end of the year level, and at the exam level, looking at those different points of data and really capturing the story, because the story is there. It will tell you the story. And if you have not aligned it appropriately, that will require you to align it appropriately so that you can go back and pinpoint specific areas that you may need to make adjustments or improvements in, or creating strategies to address those particular areas. So assessment is key, but understanding that it is a program responsibility. Looking at the curriculum design, making strong emphasis on assessment as well on all levels.
Wow.
And I also wanted to add, also looking at non-academic factors. With many of our learners, there are study habits, there are financial barriers, there's a lot of stress, their confidence, their overall wellness. All of those things do matter. And in that questionnaire, we did ask them about those things, because being willing to respond quickly and making sure they had the resources that they need, not only on the academic side, but also on the non-academic side. If they needed any counseling support, some of them had financial concerns and financial issues, and we had some of our faculty to reach in their pockets and make sure they had the money to sit for their licensure exam. So assessing all of those areas is important, especially for our demographic of students.
Wow. So thank you, Dr. Spates and Dr. Jackson, so much for being a part of this conversation. This conversation was very meaningful to me, and I know it will be valuable to everyone listening. I truly appreciate your time and everything that you've shared. So this concludes the W.H.A.T Podcast. Wellness, healthcare, advocacy, and transparency. Say what? This is Sara Leo signing out.